Hey, what's up, y'all? This is a coaster spotlight of the Wild One at Six Flags America. I'll start out giving you a little bit of history about the ride, then we'll talk about what the ride is like, and I'll even have a pretty lousy POV for you. So first of all, let me apologize because I went crazy with this Zoom feature showing these old photos of the ride from when it was built in 1917. I won't do that again. I know it looks stupid, one after the other, but what are you going to do? So like I said, it was built in 1917 by John Miller for Paragon Park, and it was called the Giant Coaster. And back then, it was really giant. Depending on the sources, it was between 95 and 98 feet tall. And you can see the drops were really flat, and the turns were really flat, and it didn't really look anything like what we're used to today. But Herb Schmeck and PTC redesigned the ride in 1932, and it became much closer to what we see today, including the final helix. Unfortunately, that helix burned down, I believe, in 62, and in 63, John Allen was brought in to restore the ride. And he just kind of ended it right after it went under the lift hill. It just went on the brakes and into the station, and that was that. And it stood that way until 1984 when Paragon Park closed. Now, in 1982, Wild World opened in in Largo, Maryland, just a little bit outside of D.C., and it was the precursor to Adventure World and Six Flags America. So they bought the coaster from Paragon Park when it closed, and they hired Charles Den to supervise the move and reconstruction in Wild World. So it's now been in the park in Six Flags America for over 30 years. And in that time, it's going through a lot of changes. There have definitely been. That's one of the constants in this ride's life has been change. It's changed a number of times. One of the major changes that they made at Wild World or Adventure World was shortening the first drop by about 9 feet, which really changed the character of the ride, made it even wilder. And some of the drops and turns and so forth have been reprofiled over the years. So that's the history. What about the ride? How does it ride? And all I can say is I've ridden hundreds of coasters, and believe it or not, this is one of my favorites. I know it doesn't get a lot of love, but I think it's a great ride. Um, like I said, I've been riding it ever since the park opened. I've ridden in every iteration that it's had, and it's just from start to finish. It's filled with airtime. It's got even ejector airtime at points. It's got a non-stop pace. It's got great lats, and the Helix finale is killer. It's absolutely awesome. And even with all these reprofilings, no matter what they do to the ride, it just seems like it just gets. It doesn't get better and better, but it definitely stays the same. It's always very wild. Um, it is a little rough around the edges. It's 101 years old, so I mean we're all going to be rough around the edges at that age. But Six Flags overall maintains the ride fairly well, I would say. I would have liked for the ride's 100th anniversary to totally retrack it. I think if they did that, it would really stand out to a lot of people. They would see it in a new light because right now it's a little bit bumpy. It's got a little bit of shuffle and so forth, and I just think that it would be much more well loved if it was a little bit smoother. And here, by the way, is this lousy POV I was talking about. Sorry for the quality, but at least you get the idea what a ride is like. And also, even though it is rough, I've been on rides that are way rougher than this. And if you're looking for airtime and some strong lats, this one has definitely got it. And one of the things I do like about this ride is over the years it's been shoehorned in around other structures. It's been moved maybe to dodge a building, or it's been lowered to duck under a water ride or something like this. And that really makes the ride have this sort of unique character because there's all these little jolts and sideways action that you don't really find on a new ride, and it's pretty cool. So is this a destination coaster? No, not at all. Nobody needs to book a flight to get on the Wild One, but it's definitely one of the best coasters in the park. And if you like old and aggressive woodies, this is definitely one that you need to get on because it definitely falls in that category. So that's pretty much it. I think the Wild One's a great ride. I think you should give it a try. If you've ridden it and you disagree, or you agree, or you have totally different opinions, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this ride. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the ride.